Hello, my friends. Today we're learning Bava Basra Daf Kuf Samech. Good Chodesh. Should have a blessed month with lots of light and happiness and success for each personal person and for the whole Klal Yisrael. We're going to start straight away. Before we start, we're going to give Akdama to the Mishnah. But the Mishnah is talking about types of shtoris. We call it a get. A get means a get to divorce a woman, but also a shtar of a loan or whatever it is. And there was two types of shtoris. A normal shtar, like we know, and that's called a poshet one. And a get kosher is the one that they would write and do folds in the shtar and sew it together, the folds that when they'd fold them and they'd sew it together and write stuff inside. And we'll see in the Gemara why they had such a funny type of shtar. So I'm going to read the Mishnah. Get pashut edav mitocho מקושר edav מאחוריו. פשוט שכתבו edav מאחוריו, מקושר שכתבו edav מתוכו, שניהם פסולים. רב חנינא בן גמליאל אומר, מקושר שכתבו edav מתוכו כשר מפני שיכול לעשותה פשוט. רב שמעון גמליאל אומר, before the Reb Chanina ben Gamliel, over here it's Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, אומר, הכל כמנהג המדינה. גט פשוט edav בשתיים, מקושר בשלושה. פשוט שכתב בו עד אחד, מקושר שכתב בו שניים, עדים שניהם פסולים. So the Mishnah says that the difference between a get pashut and a get mekusha, as we explained, that one's a simple one and one that you make folds with knots, that the one that's a normal one, you write the Eidim sign in the front of the shtar. And the one that's a tied shtar, the Eidim would sign on the back. Says the Mishnah, if you turned it over and get a normal shtar, you wrote the Eidim on the back of the page, or Mekush you wrote on the front of the page, they both possible. But Reb Chanina ben Gamliel says that if you wrote a knotted get with the Eidim in the front, it's kosher because you could just open the knots and make it into a normal shtar. Reb Shimon Gamliel says everything's like the meaning of Medina, and the Gemara is going to explain that what it means. Now the Mishnah finishes off and says another difference between a get poshet and a get mekusha. The get poshet has two edim and a mekusha has three edim. And the Mishnah says that if your poshet has only one edim, or mekusha has two edim, it's possible because you need minimum two by a normal get and minimum three by get mekusha. Let's read the Gemara. מנהן אמילי אמר רב חנינא דאמר קרא שדות בכסף יקנו וכתוב בספר וכתוב. והעד עדים. שדות בכסף יקנו וכתוב בספר קוף סמך עמוד ב' ופשוט. וחתום ומקושר. והעד שניים עדים שלושה, הכיצד שניים לפשוט שלושה למקושר. והיפוך ענה. בתוך שנתרבה בקשריו נתרבה בעדיו. רפרם אמר מאחווה, קח ספר המקנה את החתום, המצווה והחוקים ואת הגלוי, וקח ספר המקנה את זה פשוט, את החתום ומקושר, ואת הגלוי זה פשוט שבמקושר. המצווה והחוקים אלה דברים שבין פשוט למקושר. הכיצד? זה דף שניים, זה דף שלושה, זה דף מתוכה, זה דף מאחוריו, והיפוך ענה מתוך שנתרבה בקשריו, נתרבה בעדיו. רמי בר יחזקאל אמר מאחה, על פי שניים עדים או על פי שלושה עדים יקום דבר. אם תתקיים עדותם בשתיים, למה פירט לך בשלושה? לומר לך שניים לפשוט, שלושה למקושר. והיפוך ענה, מתוך שנתרבה בקשריו, נתרבה בעדיו. ואני לאחר הודעת לכל אחד ואחד למילצי הודעת, לכדתניא שדות בכסף יקנו וכתוב בספר וחתום. יצא תורה כמה שמלן, ויקח ספר המקנה, אחיה ומייסה, על שניים עדים על פי שלושה עדים, להקיש שלושה לשניים, ופלוגתא רבי עקיבא רבנן, אלא מקושר מדי רבנן, וקרא אסמכתא בעלמא, וטעם מאי תקינו רבנן מקושר, אתרא דכהן יהווה, והווה קפ כתוב, ומגר שנשיים ואב דרבנן תקנת, עדה ואחי מתוודעתיו, אתן אך גיטין שטרות מאי כנממה, כדי שלא תחלק בין גיטין ושטרות. So, the Gemara says, how do we know that there are two types of shtaris? A normal shtar and a shtar that's tied. So Reb Chanina says, it said in the Pasuk, in Aryeh, that Aryeh told them, Sodois bakesef iknu, v'kosu v'sefer v'chosoim v'eid eidim. So we learn that the Pasuk where it says, Sodois bakesef iknu, v'kosu v'sefer, that means it's a normal type of shtar. The chosum is coming to tell you that there's another type of shtar that's a star that you do knots in it and you fold it up. And then it says v'oed is mashma 2 edim. Then it says edim, it's coming to add, so it means shloip 3 edim. So, do you need 2 or 3? So it says if it's a poshta star, you need 2. If it's a tied star, you need 3. And that the Gemara asks, maybe I'll turn it over, maybe a poshta star needs 3 edim and a tied one needs only 2. And that the Gemara says, because we could see it's a more complicated star, that needs knots and everything, so therefore it makes sense that that's where we were machmer and we need more edim, you need 3 edim. That's the first pshat. Raphaim says a different pasuk also in Yirmiyah, that says that the ekech ha-sefer maknes achosum v'amitzvah v'achukim v'esagolui. The ekech ha-sefer maknes is coming to tell you that the poshta star, esachosum is coming to tell you a tied star. Esagolui is that the poshet shebemukusha, that even in the one that's tied and you fold over, has the general lotion of the star that's written like normal. A mitzvah v'achukim, that's mashma that there's 2 types of ways how to do it. It's coming to tell you that there's a difference between a poshta star and a tied star. What's the difference? One is 2 edim and one is 3. One is the edim in the front of the star, one is the edim in the back. And that the Gemara asks, maybe let's turn it over and say that the 2 edim is by a tied star and 3 edim is by a normal star. And that the Gemara answers what we said before, but since we could see it's a more complicated star that you need to tie it up, it makes sense that it's more complicated that you need 3 edim. Rami Bar Yecheskel says, no, I'll tell you where we know the difference between a get poshet and a mekusha is from a different pasuk. That it says in Dvorim, Al pi shnayim edim or al pi shloisha edim yokum davar, that the edus is by 2 or 3 edim. So, if already 2 is good enough, why did the Torah tell you they need that 3? Why is it coming to tell you? Said the Gemara, it's coming to tell you that 2 for a normal star and 3 for a special star, a get mekusha. On that the Gemara asks Eipuchan, or maybe 3 by a normal star and 2 by a get mekusha. On that the Gemara answers what we said before, because it's more complicated than you need to do knots, it makes sense that it's more complicated than you need more edim. On that the Gemara asks, all these psukim it's coming to tell you about get kosher and get poshet, we need it for other things. What do we need it for? The first pasuk that we brought of Sodis Bakesef Eknu v'Kosov v'Sefer v'Chosum is coming to tell you Eitzi Toiva Kamashmalon, like we learned early on, that Aryeh told them how to protect themselves because they're going to go into Golos, make sure how to do it in the correct way. It's just coming to tell them Eitzi Toiva, it's not coming to tell you any dinim. The second pasuk of the Ekech Sefer Makne is just telling you what he did, what Aryeh did. It's not coming to tell you any dinim. Al pi shnayim edim or al pi shloisha edim, it's coming to be makish shloisha edim l'shnayim. And the machlokes Rav Akiva and Rabbanon exactly how to learn the fakish, but it's coming to tell you a whole different thing. That if you have 3 edim and one of them is posel, does a whole edus betela or not? It's nothing to do with get kash on poshot. So the Gemara, no, really get mikusha is stam atakona de Rabbanon. And the psukim is only a smachta for it, but really meika din midoraisa, there's no such a thing a get mekusha. And the reason why in the Mishnah Nochinami, I'm explaining a second back in the Mishnah why we said that if you did, let's say, if you have 2 edim, 2 edim on a get kosher, why it's possible is because it wasn't done ketikun chachomim. Because you have to do a star like chachomim said. Said the Gemara, okay, we said that this is all asmachta, and meika din you just have a normal get. Why were Chachomim attacking such a type of funny get that you fold it over and you knot it down? Said the Gemara, there was a place of Koyanim, and they would get angry quickly, and they divorce their wives, and then they would regret it, and a Kohen who divorces his wife can't remarry her. So it would cause issues. So Rabbanan made the takana that the get would be a much more complicated get. They need to fold it and knot it together, and it would take much longer. And until you'd get it done, the Koyanim would cool down and say, oh yeah, I don't want to divorce my wife, I love her, I just got angry for a second, and therefore they wouldn't give the get, and therefore they would say Shlom Bayis. On that the Gemara asks, okay, very good, by Gittin of Noshim we understand why you have a get kosher. Why by a Shtar Choiv do you have a get kosher? Well, that someone won't get angry, it doesn't make any sense. On that, the Gemara answers that we didn't want to make any chiluk between gittin and normal stories. So since in gittin we have a din of get kosher, so therefore the mutakin also by normal stories that you have such a thing, a get kosher. Let's continue reading the Gemara inside. Echan edim chotmim, Ravuna amar ben kesher lekesher, ורבי ירמיה בר אבא אמר אחורי הכתב, וכנגד הכתב מבחוץ. אמר לירמי בר חמא לרב חיסדא, לרבונה דאמר בין קשר לקשר, כוסל כדאיתם בקשר לקשר מגבי. ההוא מקושה, דעתה לקמי דרבי, ואמר רבי אין זמן בזה, אמר לרב שמעון ברבי, למה? לרבי שמא בין קשריו מובלע, פליה וחזיה, ואם איתה אין זמן בזה, ואין עדים בזה, מבא אלי. אמר לי, מי סברק בין קשר לקשר מגבוי? לא, בין קשר לקשר מעברי. ונכו שתיל מזיה, וכתב מאי דבאי וחתימי סעדי. דכתיב בי שריר וקיים, ונכו שתיל כתב מאי דבאי ועדר כתב שריר וקיים, אחרינה. אחד שריר וקיים כתבינן, תראי שריר וקיים לא כתבינן, ולכו שתיל מחליק לשריר וקיים וכתב מאי דבאי, ועדר כתב שריר וקיים. אמר רבי יוחנן, תלויה מקוימת כשרה, מחק פסול. ואף על פי שמקוים, ולא אמרו מחק פסול, אלא במקום שריר וקיים, וכשיעור שריר וקיים. So the Gemara says, where do the right, in the case of a get mekusha, where do the Eidim write? So we have here two shit, where do they sign? So we have here two shittas. Ravuna says, between each knot, and now the Gemara understands between the knots inside that you can't see once it's knotted down, you can't see what the Eidim signed. And Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba says at the back of the star, at the end of what you wrote. So you wrote the star, so at the end line, at the back, that's where they sign. So Rami bar Choma asked Rav Chizda, the fear of Huna, they said you write it between each knot. And lefi the hava means between each knot on the outside. That means that you could, even without opening the knots, you could see what that the Eidim signed. It doesn't make sense because there was a story of a get mekusha that came in front of Rebbe, and Rebbe said, "There's no zman, there's no date in this star. It's a star apostle." And Rab Shimon, the son of Rebbe, told Rebbe, maybe the date is written between the knots. Maybe if we open it, we'll see the time of the star. So they opened it and they found the date. Ask the Gemara, if you're going to tell me that the Eidim sign between the knots inside and you can't see it without opening the knots, why did it say the Rebbe said that there's no date in the star? He should have said there's no date and there's no Eidim because you also didn't see the Eidim. So that the Gemara answers, no, when we said between knot and knot, we don't mean to say inside the knots, and the outside of the knots. And therefore, even without opening the knots, you could see the Eidim, and therefore Rebbe did see the Eidim, he just didn't see the Zman. Now the Gemara asks, Lefi the Shita, that you write the knots, by the knots you write the Eidim, but in the back, but in the front, you don't have any Eidim. So let's be choishish. Maybe there was a star that says Reuben owes Shimon 1,000 pounds, and we got Eidim, kosher Eidim, to say that, to see that he actually loaned 1,000 pounds. And then once the Malva got the star, he added on in the front of the star that then he gave another loan of another 10,000 pounds. And then he's going to come to Bezdin with the Eidim that were only made about 1,000 pounds, and they say, no, he owes me 11,000 pounds. On that, the Gemara answers that the end of the star, you have to write Shori V'Kayam. This is strong and existent. And therefore, if the Malva will add on later on other lines, we'll see that it's after the Shori V'Kayam. We'll know that he added it on. So the Gemara says, okay, very good. You know what he's going to do? He's going to it says Shor V'Kayim, he's going to add on his extra loan that never happened, and afterwards he's going to also write Shor V'Kayim, and there's Eidim on the back. He'll have a good shtar, and it's false. And that the Gemara answers that you only write one time in the shtar Shor V'Kayim at the end of the shtar. You can't write twice. So if there's a shtar that's telling it twice, we only believe what's written until the first Shor V'Kayim, not what's written until the second Shor V'Kayim. Ask the Gemara, I'll tell you how he's going to forge it. He's going to rub out the last Shor V'Kayim, add whatever he wants to add to the shtar, and then write Shor V'Kayim. On that the Gemara said, that's no chashash, because Rabbi Yochanan says that Tluyo Mekuyemes Kshera, meaning if the Soifa had a mistake, and he added some words between the lines, and what does that mean? At the end of the shtar he wrote, those extra words were part of the shtar, it wasn't added extra, so that's good. But, continue the Gemara Kuf Samech Aleph, if he rubbed out some words, then it's possible. Even what he added on top of what he rubbed out. And even though this shtar is mekuyim, because we're choishesh, and maybe he added on afterwards. And we say that's only said if he rubbed out and he wrote on it, that's possible. Only if he rubbed out in the place where it's shaykh to write Shor V'Kayim, and he rubbed out enough at the amount of Shor V'Kayim. But if he rubbed out in the middle of the shtar, where you don't write Shor V'Kayim, there's no such a chashash. But the bottom point that's relevant to us is that if the person, the malva, rubbed out the Shor V'Kayim, and you could see when it's rubbed out something, and he wrote on top of the other things, we'll see that it's deleted. And we said if it's rubbed out, it's possible. So therefore, if he'll do such a thing, he'll pass on his own shtar. He won't do such a thing, and therefore we are not choishesh for that, and therefore there's nothing to be choishesh for, and it's all good. As Hashem, we should finish get poshut, we should learn it well, understand all the dinim of the gittin, of the shtaras, and we should have a very good month, a month of a lot of Torah, a lot of avodah, a lot of mitzvahs, a lot of tefillah, and a lot of Yeshuas to Klal Yisrael. Thank you very much.